I'm going to do a brief shop update. As you can see, I'm in a hoodie. It's like the winter, the year of the winter that will never give it up. It's cold and damp, and it just keeps coming. It keeps snowing, and it's cold. Now, when I say snowing, not a lot of snow, but just snowing. Anyways, I've got a couple of things. I bought a new transmission jack, and I'll show it to you. I've got a clip of it, and I'll show it to you after I've used it and tell you my thoughts on it. A couple of things, just scattered things. Some metal I bought for a project that's coming up, and just a shot of my truck after a road trip that I took, so with a kind of funny story regarding it. So I'll bring you back. I'm going to show you guys something funny. I made a trip to Long Island yesterday, and as you can see, the bottom of the truck is covered with salt, but some of that isn't salt. I'm going to show you, and it might be hard for you to see it. If you can see that white stuff on the mirror, and the white stuff up at the top, and hopefully you can see that. That's not salt. It's cement. I was on the Long Island Expressway, and there was a cement truck in front of me, and I've never seen this happen before. You know, they put the ingredients in a cement truck, and a lot of the times as the driver is going down the road, he just adds water to it in a certain ratio. He knows exactly how much water is being added to it to get whatever mix that they want for the slope of the concrete. Well, this truck, whether he didn't add the water, I've never seen this happen before, but the hopper at the top of the truck where they pour the ingredients in at the cement plant, it was just spewing out of it, out of the top of the truck, powdered cement was just coming out, and it was got all over my truck. Now, I wasn't directly behind him. I was probably 3 or 4 vehicles back. And the funny thing about the 3 or 4 vehicles is I was going down the road, and I was kind of in not the far left-hand lane, but the one of the left-hand lanes. 8 sheriff cars, all in a procession, come up beside me and then pull in front of me, and we're behind that truck at a certain point in time, because what they did is all got off at one exit, whether there was something going on. You know, it kind of looked like they might have been going to someplace, some kind of a raid or something, but you know, that's just my perspective of why they were all together. But I can only imagine what their cars looked like, because they were actually directly behind this guy when this was all happening. And then he got about 2 miles down the road and it stopped, so he must have added the water to it, and it got back into a state where all of the cement powder wasn't coming out of the top of that thing. But it was kind of funny. You know, I was kind of annoyed because I had washed the truck before I had left, and then got partway down and it started snowing, and of course notorious New York State salted the shit out of the roads, and as you can see, oversalted it. Let's support them salt companies. Nothing that wrong with somebody having a job in a salt mine, but New York State has a tendency of overdoing things. They overdo things at the wrong time. We'll get a snowstorm and they won't be prepared for it. They only come out, 2 hours after the storm started and start doing it. And then after all the roads are cleared off, they'll continue to salt them afterwards, after the fact. As part of a little shop update, I just wanted to bring you over here. This is the backside of the truck where I've got that workbench. And what I've done is, well, I should say my grandson came over here this morning and helped me. Now, there was a bunch of totes underneath that workbench to begin with. They didn't belong to me, they belonged to him. And what he ended up doing is putting them up there on top of that the bathroom ceiling or roof. Put the totes up there. I put that purplish box up there which holds a pipe bender. Put that up there. That old truck seat, or the truck seat out of the truck, the Ford haul truck, is up there. That will probably be sold and moved on. What we did is, probably you noticed that I've already, I panned across this thing. You saw that I put the compressor over here. I've still got to get some relays and wiring for it. Now that is 3-phase, where the original Ingersoll Rand compressor was only 1-phase. So I've got to run a 3-phase line over to it, get a relay to activate the pressure switch on the turn off, turn on type pressure switch, get a relay for it, and then what I'm going to do is manifold those two together and take it. But what I'm going to do is I've cleaned it up. Probably for right now, I am going to bring the Cummins engine and transmission over here. Underneath the thing, I'm going to use that as a palletized storage for those other engines, the truck engine and the engine that is out of that Chevy pickup truck. I haven't even gotten a chance to list them yet, so I will be doing that, but that'll be a good landing spot for them in the meantime until I get them listed and get them sold. The heater, I've had that heater in here for a while, and my landlord was up last week, and that is his heater, and he said that somebody's going to take it. They've got somebody in a plumbing shop knows somebody that might want to buy it, so they're going to take it. So that'll get that out of my hair too. And again, the engine and transmission are probably going to go over in that cleaned up area back over there. But just a little shop update of bringing you in and showing you some of the things that I've been working on to try and clean the shop up a little bit. Again, that drill press is going to go back over there. You know, I had it out in the middle of the floor to kind of clean it up, sand it off, and repaint it. But it's to the point now where I can push it back over there into the machine area and get it painted and cleaned up and painted the rest of the way over in that area. So that'll be over there, and it'll be over there, and I'll be able to I'll put the tables back on it and get them cleaned up, get the things painted and put the tables back on it, and I'll be able to use it. But again, just a little shop update. Just as a little shop update, one of the things that I was doing this morning is more of that that old powder coating on the exhaust stacks peeled off. You can see a little area down in there, but it peeled off at the top. So I just scuffed it up with sandpaper again, and just scuffed it up with sandpaper and repainted it. There was another spot on the other stack too, but what I'm going to be doing is I've got the I borrowed some chains and binders. When I took those hoppers down to Tennessee, I ended up borrowing a couple of chains and binders off of the guy that I took it down there for, and I've got to take that back. I'm going down and meeting him this afternoon, take his chains and binders back, and get my check from him for covering the expense. But anyways, again, I'm trying to get the shop cleaned out a little bit, and I just kind of made a little video on showing that I had moved the engines over on the Ford build, but it's getting cleared out. My grandson's got to get the stuff out as soon as he heads out to Ohio for that store build. He will get all the stuff out. I'll get that little temporary bench that he's got set up there out of there and put the sawhorses away. I want to get that drill press back into where it's got to go, so hopefully before he goes out to Ohio for a week or so, I can get his help in getting this thing moved over. But I'll bring it back. This is another part of a shop update. I just got this. I had to order it from Napa. They had to get it out of their warehouse and bring it into the local Napa. But it's what it is, a transmission jack. It was on sale. It's good for 1,500 pounds. So in the past, I've gotten transmissions out of cars and smaller trucks with just sticking a floor jack under it and kind of balancing it on it, getting it down, and then skidding it off of the floor jack and pulling it out from underneath the car. But with the bigger transmissions, I've got to take that transmission out, and then at some point in time I've got to get that 10-speed Eaton Fuller back in, and that thing is pretty heavy, very heavy. And I wanted something that was stable and that I could get under there. It's got the chain that goes around it just to kind of keep it in place on top of the jack. And so I wanted to get something that was stable, that I can maneuver around easily. It was low profile. It's got a pivoting handle on it, so that you can position the handle wherever you want to, if you want to get it from the back, sides, whatever you want to do. But again, it was on sale, so I picked it up. I'm over here at the leading table of the Kalamazoo bandsaw. What I did is yesterday I went out and I had to make some runs. I actually had to go down and pick up a couple of checks of people that owed me money. So what I did, went down to the metals warehouse and picked up some pieces that I kind of needed. Now, there's a piece of like 18 gauge steel there, and that is going to go on the truck project. So, but I'll show you that when I do it. Some of this other stuff is just random stuff. This piece of plate and this piece of plate are going to be for a winch mount on the trailer, and I really wasn't going to put a winch on my existing trailer because I'm not really sure if I'm going to be keeping that trailer. My plans are to get a bigger trailer. And I really didn't want to put any more money into that trailer before I figured my existing trailer before I figured out what I was going to do with it. If I'm going to, I don't know whether I'm going to keep it or whether I'm going to sell it. But anyways, I've got a couple of hauls that I've got to make. Some classic cars that are non-running, and again, you know, I can get cars up on my trailer that don't run by pulling them up with another vehicle. It's really easy, but you know, I've got to bite the bullet at some point in time, and I really need kind of a winch on the trailer. So I'm gonna use some of this steel to put a winch onto the trailer. But I just kind of wanted to show that to you. You know, kind of a funny side note is that I film stuff in the shop during the day and over periods of times before it ever gets posted onto my channel on YouTube. And I noticed when I kept going back in, every time I make a clip, I said, as part of another shop update. And, you know, when you watch it, it becomes annoying because it all goes into the same video. Even though it's filmed at different clips, my little habits become annoying. So I've got to stop doing it. So I'm trying to keep myself from doing stuff like that. I just wanted to show you, I had shown you that metric, that large metric set, and there was that one die that was missing, 14 millimeter 1.5 pitch. He had taken it out of there and given it to somebody that probably worked in an automotive shop and had to wanted to chase the threads on wheel studs. But he had ordered another one. He had it in his shop. He must have forgot to put it in that box. But anyways, I got it. He brought it to me and I've got it now. I just kind of wanted to show you that jack stand in use. This is that transmission out of the Ford, and it was a little difficult getting it onto the stand because of that this thing right here, which is a PTO takeoff. So that PTO kind of interfered with the plate on the jack stand, but that jack stand works great. It was easy to move around. The handle swivels and you can pump it in any direction, so it works great. I'm going to take you over and actually show you the sales flyer on it now. Some people might think I paid too much money for it, but I'll tell you, it's a lot cheaper than I would have paid from Snap-on or Mac or somebody like that. But I'll take you over and show it to you. Here we are back over to that sales flyer, and hopefully you're not getting blown out by the white paper on this thing. But here is that jack stand. It was on sale for $499.99, $500. But as you can see, compared to some of the other ones, it was probably a bargain. Again, 1,200 pounds. Now, the ones up here are like a ton and a ton and a half jack stands. So, I'm happy with it. It works great. Of course, I've never really used another jack stand, so I'm sorry. Did I say jack stand before? A transmission jack. I've never used one before. Like I said before, I always kind of balanced it on a floor jack and took the transmission out that way. But anyways, that's it for this shop update. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe.